try to get you into the question period gallery at approximately 10 to 2. So when Garnet does the SO31, he does his 1-minute statement, that you will be in place so you can see that and hear him do that. We did work out a deal with him. This was a slot that I had, and he wanted to make this statement, and so we have traded slots with him, so he will be doing that statement today, and we're happy to be able to work with him.
I'd like to translate that part because that's very important actually. امروز در اصل آقای اندرسون نوبت از اینا بود که در پارلمان صحبت کنن، ولی به خاطر اهمیتی از این مسئله و به خاطر که ما را می‌خوایم کمک کنن نوبت صحبت کردن خود به وزیر دیگه دادن که اونا امروز گپ میزنن.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're actually very familiar with your issue. I'm on the subcommittee for human rights in the Parliament, which is a subcommittee of the Foreign Affairs Committee. We try to deal with the human rights issues around the world. And of course, we have many issues. We have 2 one-hour meetings a week, which is not enough, of course, to deal with the issues around the world, but your issue is one of those that we have brought forward and discussed it at committee. We make our decision on agenda by a consensus, so often there's a discussion about the issues that we will cover, and we try to bring forward the things that we feel are important. I brought forward your issue a number of times to the committee, and I would still like to see a hearing on it. So we'll continue to push for that and to see if we can get that. There is no shortage, of course, of human misery and challenges on human rights around the world, so we have a very full agenda and a lot of different things to take a look at as well. I don't know if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask. I would try to answer them for you.
Yeah, my name is Hassan. So first of all, I should thank you for your time and for your support, actually, for the human rights as well as for raising our voice in Afghanistan. The issues, actually, the ongoing issues that we are facing is a relatively small issue comparing to the genocide that we faced there, like quite around 100 years from now. So my question is that if we want to follow that problem, and if we want Canada to recognize the genocides of Hazaras in Afghanistan, so what do you expect from us? What should we do, and what Parliament of Canada can do for us, or what we can do for the Parliament of Canada to start process of recognizing of this genocide of Hazaras in Afghanistan, which roughly we lost around 62% of our populations. Well, this is roughly, could be more or lower than this amount, but I mean, this is my question actually, and that how we can,
Okay, it's a very good question, and it's one that may be a little hard to cover fully right now. But what I tell people when they come to Parliament and they have an issue, that it's very important that you are very focused on your issue, that you narrow it up as much as you possibly can. And what I tell people is if you come with 6 or 7 different things, that often gives us an excuse not to do anything. And so if what you are looking for is very specific to the declaration of a genocide, then you know what your goal is. And then you can begin to work towards that. And I would say that you perhaps could look at some of the other communities that have been very successful over time at convincing parliaments that they should be supporting a declaration of a genocide. It's something that's happened in the distant past is much more difficult to be able to bring right to the forefront because it's something that's happened that none of us are personally familiar with. You get something that's much more immediate, such as what happened to the Yazidis, the Christians on the Nineveh Plain. That is in everyone's mind and thoughts. And so for those who want to advance that idea, it's an easier thing to do.
Yeah.
But it is difficult, of course, to get us to focus back 100 years and then to recognize injustices that have taken place and to be able to bring them forward. But I would say it comes from the community, organizing, having one message. If you have 2 or 3 messages from your community, that is very dangerous in terms of trying to reach one goal. So if your community can agree on what it is we want, then you start to put a strategy in place to highlight what happened, to find allies in Parliament that will work with you on that, and then it takes time. If you look at some of the declarations that have taken time, communities have worked for 10 or 20, 30 years in order to convince enough legislators that this is important. Again, social media now gives us opportunities that we never had in the past to be able to present our case and our situation. And the media has changed very differently, so you can educate people in a way that you could not have done in the past.
Yeah. So can I ask, for such a declaration, how many percent of MPs should be agree upon of that? So
Well, I would say that the work to get it done probably is most of it is done prior to even ever thinking of introducing it in the Parliament. So you need to find some champions, and if you're going to do this, what seems to work better is if it's in multiple countries, not just in one, right? So you've got pressure from whatever it is, the United Kingdom, the pressure from Canada, the pressure builds in the United States. You find a couple legislators in each of those countries that are willing to commit to it, and then out of that, you begin to get the momentum that you need.
Yes.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, there are some efforts in the United Kingdom also. If
Yeah,
you want to
and-
start here, ask for all the process.
Right. And there's no shortage of these kinds of things that have happened, and so you need to be able to highlight yours, make sure that people understand how important it is.
Thank you, Minister. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to, first of all, thank you on behalf of everyone, and also highlight that Mr. Anderson basically went out of his way, being in the committee that he is, in the Human Rights Committee. His office drafted a memo that they voluntarily circulated amongst other people in the committee to highlight the plight of the Hezare. So thank you for doing that. It means a lot, and that was done in the summer of August.
I should introduce Tristan in my office, who does most of the work on these issues that
Yeah,
you would
I
be
know.
talking to. But thank you.
So thank you again, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Great. Well, I hope you enjoy your tour. It's you've got a fairly large group here, but I think you'll enjoy it as well, and you've got a good guide. And Tristan will go along as well. And then we look forward to seeing you in question period. I'll look for you. We'll see we'll find you up there. So thank you for coming. And I think this is actually an important event. We've brought a large group of people onto the Hill. I know you're meeting with some of our other MPs, I think today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that is just the start of being able to convince people that this is an important thing that they need to be paying attention to. The more of us know about it, the more people you talk to in your ridings, your members of Parliament are there to serve you. And you're obviously from a whole variety of areas. You should be making appointments with your members of Parliament and saying, I'm part of a larger group. You go in and say, I need this, kind of as one person, yeah, okay, I'll listen to you as a constituent. But when you can say, we have people going into 20 or 15 or 20 MPs' offices within the next 2 weeks across Canada to talk about this issue, then we start to pay attention. So, and we would appreciate any help that we get from other MPs on bringing this forward as well. So, you have the right to talk to your members of Parliament. Take advantage of it. And hold them accountable for representing you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.